everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's vlog's a little bit different. It's not running today. I have been running this week, but today instead I'm going to do a little house tour. I have just tidied the house, but it's still, I mean, everything's kind of everywhere. There's still not enough space for like little bits and bobs like household papers and holiday clothes and stuff. There's still a lot of things everywhere, so excuse that while you're looking around, but I know that the last house tour I did was when the house was pretty much empty, and so I wanted to give you a little bit of an update about what we've been doing. And anyone who follows me over on our home account at Back to Bristol on Instagram will know most of this stuff that we've been getting up to, but I've only kind of been showing little bits and bobs of the home rather than a kind of whole complete tour. So I thought I'd do that today and talk a little bit through where we've been getting stuff from, our kind of priorities when we were choosing the house, the things that we love about it as well, and any future plans too. So hopefully you will find it interesting. Keep watching for all of that and a lot more too. Okay, so starting with the front porch, as you walk in, we've got these really awesome baskets. I knew that I wanted somewhere to store all my gloves and hats and running stuff in general, so super happy with how these turned out. These are, I think, IKEA, but they were from Gumtree, secondhand. And we have a very handy light because when I come back in the dark, it's so difficult to see everything. But we put up this bar here for all of the running kit, bike helmets, what are they called? Running rucksacks, like that kind of stuff. And we're still waiting for a good shoe rack to put our shoes on down there. But on the other side, we've got another coat hook and shoe rack, proper shoe rack down here. We have a lot of shoe racks, but we have a lot of shoes, so you'll see them as we go around the house. Okay, and into the hallway, we've got this adorable photo of me and Fee and Ziggy, my sister's dog. The hallway is the last place we haven't done. As you can see, we've got patches of the wrong color paint everywhere, which is a nightmare. So that is originally this color, but for some reason over the years it's changed color in the garage. So annoyingly it's a totally different color, so we're actually just going to repaint the whole thing, and that's what all of that crap down there is. Not the camera. I just changed my camera because that camera's too zoomy and I was so up close to everything, so if it looks a bit different, that's why. But this is the hallway in general. It looks really light at the moment, but it's actually quite a dark hallway, and that's something that we're hoping to change at some point. Not really sure how. We're going for a light color on the wall. I've recently painted the banister black, which obviously won't help, but we would like some more light in here at some point, maybe a light at the end. But anyway, that's a work in progress, but I'm pretty pleased with it. The living room is also probably the space that we've done the most work, and we prioritized it because it was where we were spending a lot of our time. A central place. We weren't spending any time upstairs except for sleeping. Obviously the kitchen we were cooking in, the dining room we were barely using. We were having our dinners in here because it was actually the only place we had any seating. So we actually started to prioritize this space quite a lot, and because of that, it's probably the most done out of all the rooms. In fact, there's not that much more that needs to be done to it to make it kind of perfectly functional. It's got enough storage space, and recently we've got some alcove shelves fitted. It's the one thing that has been a kind of unnecessary but nice expense. Everything else has sort of been necessary, I think. But yeah, it's looking so good. Hang on, I'm gonna turn you around. Alrighty, so these are our alcove shelves, brand spanking new. So we got a local carpenter to do it. He lives literally on the same road as us, and we got him to just do the wooden parts. So literally just putting the shelves in, making sure they were all sturdy enough to hold a whole load of fossils. And then we were like, we're gonna caulk everything, we're gonna paint everything, because that actually just saves quite a lot of money. And I think they're looking really good. So we didn't exactly color match to this wall. We basically found something as similar as possible by getting loads of testers from Wilko, finding something that worked. But I think they look really smart. There's, you know, there's bits of crack and caulk at the side because we probably didn't do it as well as we could have done, but I think that's not something that you'd notice. This fire surround is some reclaimed pine timber that was from Bristol Wood Recycling Project. Obviously, it's great to recycle stuff like that. It doesn't look exactly how we'd like it. So, I mean, it's really nice. It's slightly wonky, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, we were thinking of putting some tiles around the side and maybe a plank of wood across there as well. But we're really happy with how it is now, and it just kind of frames the fireplace, which originally we weren't going to keep, but it works really well. And if it works, it's staying. Then over on this side, more alcove shelving that we're so happy with. Finn on his PhD graduation day, and all of the fossils candles and the plants. We're hoping for loads more plants there. Big fan of these devil's ivy things. They just look so nice on shelves like that. And peace lily, aloe vera, hibiscus, dracena. Not really sure what that guy is. Probably a type of fig. Another peace lily. What other plants? And then this big boy. This is a monstera cheese plant. Absolutely love him. I think he's brilliant and unkillable practically, although we have tried many times. Snake plant, aloe vera, baby snake plant from that one, and then bird of paradise, and I think that's an umbrella tree. And then over on this side we have our sofa and chair and various other things like our coffee table. The sofa was free from Gumtree, and if you do just wait a little bit, you'll be able to find something good. And even if you've not moved in somewhere yet, have a look on the Gumtree of the place that you're going and see if you can kind of reserve an item, and then they might save it for you. But we are so happy with this. I think it's super nice. We just like did some upholstery cleaning on it. It needs it again because it's cream, but I think it looks very fancy. Bamboo side table and bamboo coffee table were from Gumtree, sadly not free but pretty cheap. That again was also from Gumtree. I think it's originally Oak Furniture Land, so it's obviously a really good quality piece, and we got it for I think £35 or something, which is kind of ridiculous. And we were looking for something specifically that fit that area perfectly, so that's really good. And I think we'll probably do the same over that side as well. This was a bit of an expense. We got that from Habitat via Argos. It looks so good here. Obviously matches the cushions, the carpet, the feature wall. But yeah, really happy with how that's turned out. And then got this little bee print up here from a local seller on Etsy. And she literally hand dropped it around. And that's something that I adore about local sellers, small businesses, that kind of stuff. There's so much like personalization of the things that they do. Up here, don't tell Finn, he doesn't watch my vlog, so it's okay. But I've got 3 frames coming that are a picture of Bristol basically from the sky with like a gold dot where we live. So hopefully that will be up sometime soon, because obviously it's such a big space and so empty at the moment. And at some point we'll change this. Someone said it looks like viruses, which doesn't bode well at the moment. It's kind of horrible, a horrible light, sorry. But yeah, absolutely hate that, but love how everything else is looking. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, I've got my piano, which I adore playing. I've kind of recently got back into it, which is super nice. I'm currently learning, my uncle is learning the piano concertos, and I'm doing the orchestral part, and then I'm learning the first Rachmaninoff prelude, and I know already a lot of the Chopin nocturnes and preludes as well, and I'm learning some waltzes, which is lovely. This is our only painting, not print, in the whole house, and my dad drew that, which is pretty cool. Okay, so you go through from the hallway into the kitchen and dining room combined space. I am so happy with this kitchen. We have done barely anything to it and it looks so nice. The only things that we decided to do essentially was stick up a knife strip. Absolutely love those. You can get wooden ones, but they're not as good as the metal ones because they've only got individual magnets in it and the magnetism is weaker. And if you don't want your knives to drop off, you don't want that. What else have we done here? That's literally it, because the kitchen was done only 2 years ago. And then it goes through to a utility room, which is a little bit messy at the moment, but it's where we keep the washing stuff, the washer dryer, microwave, all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I adore this kitchen. It's so nice to have our own space and it works really well. And I wouldn't necessarily usually put a rug in a kitchen, but it was the only place it fit and it works perfectly. And then around the corner into our dining room, this we've done quite a lot to. So previously that wall was bright blue and I hated it. It wasn't offensive per se, but it was almost like so inoffensive that it was actually offensive, as with many parts of this house. And I know a lot of people like the blue, but it just wasn't me. So we've gone for a dark green called Botanical Noir by Crown Paints, and they kind of gifted that to us, and I think it looks amazing. Obviously it's got Fionn's massive fossil. This is a replica and you can get them on his website. Little plug in there, but it looks real. I mean, it literally looks identical to the real thing, except it weighs like nothing and costs about 1/10 of the price. That's very nice, bit fancy. Obviously, we've got loads of plants everywhere. We don't know where to put them. This table here and the chairs were all Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace. We were gonna put like a big dining table in here, but because there's only 2 of us, we just don't need that much space. And so we thought actually for now, I mean, we're not gonna be able to see anyone for a long time. So we're just gonna put a small table in here. It has little side flaps. So there's another one on the other side. It means that you can obviously open it up to be a bigger table, which means that we can fit probably like 4 people at a stretch, 6 around it, but we can't see anyone at the moment, and this is perfectly good for us. We can stick it next to the window, watch the birds on the feeder, and it works really well. Again, it's kind of super basic things. The chairs, wheelback chairs from IKEA, again via Gumtree, cheap at the best of times. We got them even cheaper. We got 4 of them for like £15 or something, £20 maybe not even that. And the table I think was about £10 from just around the corner. So we had to wait to find them. Like I said, the only place we had to sit for the first couple of weeks was on the sofa next door, but it was so worth it because waiting meant that we got an amazing deal and they work really well. And maybe one day, well, probably we'll exchange them for something a little bit fancier, a little bit nicer, but for now they work really well. And it's also nice to give things a second life, and once we're done with them, we will sell them on to someone else as well. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the garden in a bit, but we got 2 bird feeders out here because we are obsessed with watching the birds. It's a lockdown activity. I feel like so many people have suddenly become twitchers over the last few months. We are well within that category. They eat so much food. We have a whole list of the birds that we have seen on our feeder or in the garden. I think it's pretty good. Anyway, for all you bird nerds out there, we are very pleased with this. Heron, nice. Next exciting part, we made this bar literally yesterday and I'm so happy with how it looks. So I was trying to find, for literally a month, trying to find a unit that would fit in that space. But because it's an uneven distance on that side versus that side, because this is not in the middle, this is a really random size space. So like many sideboards are 120 centimeters in width and that just wouldn't fit. That would kind of go up to like there. So we were really struggling to find something for this space, and essentially in the end I just decided to buy something. Usually I wouldn't buy first-hand furniture, especially not kind of cheapy first-hand furniture like this, and so many people ask me where this is from and I feel embarrassed to say A, it's not even real wood, it's like MDF, and B, it's from somewhere called Bed Kings. I was just looking for something that was 114 centimeters across, and this was that, and it looks so good in my humble opinion, and we turned it into a nice little bar with all our non-alcoholic and alcoholic drinks. But I think it looks super nice. It was a bit of a decadence, but I adore it, and I know that you guys do too, at least over on my home account, so thank you for all your support on that one. Up here we've got various crazy things. This is a heart from somewhere called Soletti, and it's got loads of dried flowers in it at the moment. It's a vase basically. I think it's really cool, but it was I got it as a present from a family member and I was like, what on earth am I supposed to do with this? And now I adore it, and it's got pride of place above our new bar. Over on the other side, that was from Wildlife Photographer of the Year. These were from someone called Camille Lily Designs on Instagram. Would thoroughly recommend checking out her stuff. It's so nice, and she kindly gifted these to us, and I think they work perfectly with our green wall. But again, support independent sellers. Go check out her stuff. It's super nice. We got another one upstairs as well. This secondhand IKEA again from Fian's sister-in-law, and then a few more plants. Our wonderful Hotpoint fridge freezer. This is the H7T or something. HT7? I don't know. But it's perfect. Honestly, it's perfect. And you might not necessarily be looking for a fridge freezer at the moment, but at some point, if you are, I would thoroughly recommend it. There's loads of space in there. This was gifted to us, but this is obviously not an ad, but I do like it, so I'm gonna say that. Now this space used to be a massive gap through there, and I asked you guys when I was doing my empty house tour what you thought that I should be doing with the space that is the X freezer space. They had an American style fridge freezer that fit in that space perfectly, and of course we went and got a taller one that's also a lot narrower that just would not fit in the space, so we stuck it next to it, and what that's done is left it did leave kind of awkward gap there, and I was like, I have no idea what to do with this, and a lot of you guys suggested making a bar or coffee bar or just putting kind of unit in there. And so what I did is, and anyone who follows again the home Instagram account will know all of this, but what I did is I found a piece of bonded scaffolding board from the Bristol Wood Recycling Project, again, sanded it down, filled in the holes, varnished it, and now that has gone in there as a different kind of surface. So a whole extra surface where we've got the coffee machine and juicer and blender, and I think it looks so good compared to how it looked before. And then we've got a mirror up there hanging. This is Baby's Tears, by the way, in case anyone's looking for nice hanging plants, from Lazy Flora, aptly named. That is from Facebook Marketplace or Gumtree, I think. Again, originally quite expensive, and we got it for £15, which I'm pretty happy with. This unit down here is an upcycled project, which I'm so happy with. It's a cheap unit originally. It's got even cheaper when I bought it secondhand. Again, it was literally, I just had to find something to fit the space, and I was really struggling to find anything. So when I found this, I got it, but then it was sitting really low, so I stuck on some kind of hairpin legs to lift it up a little bit, and then painted the outside the same dark green as we have there, painted the back wall the same dark green, and then it's super useful at the moment. So in here, I've got loads of different drinks. In here, I've got all of my coffee, which is brilliant, because obviously the coffee machine is just there. I'm really happy with this. I'm on the floor. Upcycling is something that's kind of new to me. I would often buy things secondhand, but I'd never think to then spend more money on it to make it that little bit nicer. So, you know, those legs for 4 of them was £20, and the thing was cheap to begin with, so that kind of like doubled the price of the thing, but actually it's made it so much nicer and so much more versatile and usable in that space. So yeah, upcycling is the way to go. I'm very, very pleased with how it's turned out, and hopefully when I sell it on to the next person, I can sell it and make back some of that money as well. But yeah, it works super well, and I would recommend giving it a go. I tried it on the cheap unit first because I was like, if I mess this up, it's not the end of the world, but I have not messed it up, I don't think. I think it looks very nice. I'm very happy with how it's turned out, and it's made a lovely little kind of alcovey bar, coffee bar type space, which is super duper nice. Again, another Gumtree find, another Devil's Ivy, looking good. Someone asked, a lot of people asked me to talk about the plants in this house, so if you're wondering why the hell I'm talking about how many plants I have, that is the reason. But just to go through, this is Black-Eyed Susan. This, I cannot remember, maybe a fig? There are so many types of fig. This is a bonsai of something, originally IKEA. That is a Galileo's thermometer. This, I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called, and that's obviously a cactus of some variety. Hey, there's a robin on the feeder. At least that was. Yeah, man. There he is. Oh, he's so cute. Okay, from here I'm gonna go outside and show you our garden. Loads of people asked after the garden. We have not touched the garden yet. It looks as messy as it did when we first arrived, but one of the reasons that we bought this house was because there was so much potential and enough space for us to kind of put our stamp on it and do what we wanted with it. And the garden was one of the areas that we feel more comfortable with, but obviously it's been winter, it's been pouring with rain, there's not been much that we can do to the garden yet. So I'm going to show you its kind of before form, although Rhian has done a little bit of work out here. There was some horrible paving down that he's taken up. Still wearing my slippers. So it looks kind of marginally better. And my fig tree down there as well, who's hopefully still alive. So yeah, not been a huge amount of success with this space out here, but it is a nice patio. And then you go down the stairs to the rest of the garden. It's obviously a sloping garden, so we are planning on terracing it. By terracing it, you get lots of flat sections, so we're going to do 3 terraces. I'll show you from the bottom, but essentially 3 terraces that mean that we can have 3 kind of different zones on each side, so 6 zones overall. This path is horrendously slippy because it's all just covered in moss and leaves and crap, so we're going to be paving steps over this in some sort of nicer paving. We have chopped out a tree here that was suffocating. This is an Acer, which is obviously a super nice tree, Japanese maple. When they have their leaves, they're absolutely beautiful, so we chopped out that tree, which essentially, as you can see, all the mud here came all the way out here, and we've just left it. We're gonna obviously get that all taken away, but that's left loads more space for the Acer to grow back, which is great. And then we've got a tree here that I think might be beech, but might be wrong. And we really like the ivy here, but we've taken a little bit of it down as well because it does kind of ruin the wooden fencing. So anyway, so we're thinking of terracing there, kind of across there where the steepest bit is, then leaving the Acer on a second terrace, and then terracing here again. and that means you'd have 3 distinct lines across the garden that you can do lots of different things on. And then we were planning on doing something down here just to keep it kind of flat and a nice place to sit. I think because we're a north-facing garden, this is one of the few places that gets sun kind of into the evenings. So we're planning on having a sort of seating space down there, but obviously we have also this patio up here, which is this is a nice big space actually. Like, it takes up half the garden, this whole thing. But this is really random. Like, we don't know what is going on here. It's weird. It's obviously new decking with bark on it, but we just don't know why. So, and this is all sloping. So we're thinking of, again, paving over this kind of area and removing that slope, because you can't pave over sloped areas. If you do, you're a fool, because you can't walk on it properly. Same, like, all of this is sloped. All of that is sloped. The steps are sloping sideways. And this is all the paving that's come up so far. So we just found like loads of debris in the garden. And again, this used to be a flower bed. And then when they were selling the house, just gravelled over the whole thing, which is a real shame, because we would love a flower bed. It used to have a massive gunnera in, which is a beautiful plant with massive leaves. And that would be so nice there. But hopefully we can kind of repair what they have done and kind of undo all of it, make it a little bit wilder for the birds. But yeah, it's got so much potential, and we're so lucky to have so much space as well. I'm not going to show you the garage, A, because it's freezing, and B, because there's not that much in it. Like, it's not doing anything at the moment. But Finn will be using it as a workshop, and he's been doing loads of work on it over the last few weeks, because when we arrived unexpectedly, the whole thing was pouring in water in the sides, and we had a survey done and everything, and they said no problems, structurally sound, not an issue. And then the roof was caving in, the sides are slanted, there's gaps in it, water was pouring in. Finn obviously can't use that as a workshop, so he's been working on it recently. It was a total mess, and now it looks pretty good. So instead, I've taken you up to our landing, which is looking pretty bare but quite neat. This used to be a kind of medium wood, very 70s, 80s style, and I've painted it black, and then we're gonna have all of this wall a lot lighter, kind of more similar to that, and then obviously prints on it and all that kind of stuff. We've got a little bit of light on the landing because of this, but it is just generally quite dark. We're gonna see what we can do about that. This is the bathroom. If you remember, last time it used to be pink, and now it is a nice deep blue color, the same color that we have the wall, feature wall in the sitting room. It looks so good, I think, and so I'm gonna stop doing that at some point. It's got, you know, all the stuff from my old house, my old flat in London in it, and I think it looks pretty nice. It's perfectly functional. We are not gonna do anything with the bathroom until we absolutely have to, because I think it was done relatively recently and it would just be a waste. So, okay, so before we go into that, I just wanted to say that we left the bedroom kind of until last because, well, because we were only sleeping in there, and by the time we were sleeping it was dark. So we just kind of didn't really feel like it was necessarily a priority. But recently we decided that as we have a bed arriving soon, it's gonna be 3 months after we move in by the time it actually arrives. As we have a bed arriving soon, we thought we'd get the rest of the room ready. There is definitely something to be said for getting rooms nice when they don't have like all the furniture in and stuff. So that's something I kind of recommend when you're moving into somewhere. Don't necessarily unpack everything and then redecorate. If you can redecorate around all of your stuff still in boxes, then that's definitely, there's something to be said for that, because otherwise you have to unpack and then kind of remove everything and then re-unpack again. That's just a piece of advice, that, because that's what we did next door and that worked really well, and then we didn't do it here and we had to move everything, which is kind of annoying. But since we don't have a bed, it wasn't too much trauma. But I'm going to show you, it is a little bit messy because it doesn't really have any storage space. Like, we still have all of our clothes next door in the next door room, which used to be the master bedroom. This used to be a nursery kind of area, so it's not perfectly functional at the moment, but we can sleep in here and it's comfy. And we have redone the walls and I am obsessed with how good they look. Come into our lovely room. This is our fancy new butterfly wall. Woohoo! This was again, a kind of offensively inoffensive star wall in a mauve grey kind of colour, and then everything else was like an ice blue grey colour with a yellow wall. Fionn loved the yellow wall. There's a lot of yellow walls in his parents' house in Dorset, and it is just very sunny. So we got a wallpaper to kind of match the yellow, and then gave this a deep blue backdrop, and it is the same on this side, deep blue, and then this is our non-bed mattress on the floor at the moment, which I think is looking actually quite nice. The mattress is, where is our mattress from? Dreams, maybe? Dreams mattress, I think. One of their eco ones. Okay, fun fact, a lot of recycling plants put recycled clothes into mattresses, and that is a good way of reusing things. It's not necessarily a good use of the clothes, but if you can buy a mattress that has recycled innards, do that. That's what we did. Those are, again, they're from Fionn's sister. She was getting rid of them, so we nabbed those. This gorgeous light shade, sorry, can we just appreciate the cool light that gives off? This was a birthday present for Fionn and for me, kind of, but from me. From Dun Elm, it's a bamboo light shade, and this is the rest of the room. So much light in this room, which is why we didn't worry about doing a very dark wall, and that bright yellow wall as well, it just makes it feel very sunny in here. That's IKEA from the flat. This is Gumtree, that's one of the chairs from downstairs. Ladder desk kind of thing here, so I could work in here before I had a desk next door. But we are considering taking out all of this and moving to a combi boiler, because this is a water tank and it's just so ugly and it takes up so much room, and it'd be really nice to be able to have our clothes in here. Obviously we've got some clothes, but anything that needs hanging up and stuff is next door. So yeah, we're considering taking this out and changing that into a kind of massive inbuilt wardrobe area, but that's going to be expensive, so that's nothing we're going to do anytime soon. But it's looking okay and it's perfectly functional, and yeah, we really like this ladder desk as well. I think it's so cool. This was one of the more expensive finds on Gumtree. I think this was 40 quid, but originally I think it was like 90, so quite pleased with that. And of course it matches the butterflies. Nice view over Bristol. Totterdown over there. Windmill Hill over there, City Centre over there, Ashton Court over there. Behind us is the Northern Slopes and a lovely garden. So that's kind of our room. I don't want to like overwhelm you guys with too much information, but if you have any questions, put them in the comments down below and I will answer everything. I'm sorry if I've like forgotten stuff that you guys wanted to know. I'm going into the master bedroom slash my office slash our wardrobe slash the guest bedroom. So this is a 3-bed house technically, but it's only got 2 full-size bedrooms. The third one would fit in a cot, I think, and that is what Fionn uses as his office, and obviously he's got the garage as well. This is the first room, this one that I'm about to go into now is the first room that we redid because it had no furniture in it, so it's super easy to do, and I knew exactly what I wanted in this room. Plain neutral walls, lots of greenery, which we're getting there, not very quickly, but I'm gonna get loads more greenery. I just wanted loads of space to kind of do everything that I do. But it's also obviously the guest bedroom as well, and we've got a sofa bed in there because we knew that we wouldn't be having any guests anytime soon, but that at some point a sofa bed or a bed would be useful. So without further ado, this is the guest bedroom slash my office. So got my gallery wall on the right, lots of greenery like I said, planning plenty more, and all the wardrobe, inbuilt storage, my desk, and our beautiful snug sofa bed. Disclaimer, that was gifted to me very generously from Snug. I really would recommend it. It's one of the comfiest sofas I've ever sat on, and obviously it doubles up as a bed, so that's very handy. This is a Facebook Marketplace find that costs like 5 quid, and he came round to drop it off, which is ridiculous. Yeah, the space is obviously pretty big, but it means that we can fit in all of our clothes here, loads of storage at the top. I mean, I hate this inbuilt storage situation. I usually quite like inbuilt storage, but I just really hate this one. The doors don't function properly, and I just think it doesn't work in this room at all. But like I said, and like with many things, it functions really well. So we're keeping it for now until we do a whole revamp of lots of different places. This unit here has all of our toiletries and all that kind of stuff in it, and that came from someone just up the road who was getting rid of it. This pine desk was another Gumtree find, as was this work office chair. As you can see, I don't have anywhere for like my books and my boxing kit and various other things. Like, I think there's like ski stuff and winter gear in there and bikinis and stuff that I've literally got nowhere to put. Massive selfie mirror. This was a good find, another good Facebook Marketplace find or Gumtree find or something. But yes, hammer looking, bit random outfit. Fionn's dad took that photo and gave it to me for my birthday. Very cool. So that's got pride of place there. But yeah, so that is the master bedroom slash office slash everything else. Very pleased with how that's turned out. Now I'm not going to show you Fionn's office because it's just filled with rocks and it's kind of full of everything, and I haven't actually looked in there recently, so I don't know how it's looking, but essentially that's where he works and runs his business from. So yeah, that is the house. Gonna sit in the same place that I sat last time I did this vlog. So we're so happy with how everything is at the moment. There's loads of things that we could do like down the line. Again, like I said, one of the reasons that we bought this house was because there's so much potential, and we wanted to make sure that we weren't gonna have to be moving in a few years. Like if we get a dog, there needs to be space. If we get cats, there needs to be space. So we are hoping to be able to expand and extend at some point, but that's just way down the line. Like definitely not in the next year, probably in the next 3, 4 or 5 years we will be expanding in some sort of direction. But the house looks really good as is. Pretty pleased with all of the finds that we made on Gumtree and Facebook Marketplace. So happy with those. It also just feels nice to give things a second or third or fourth life rather than getting things that are new. Obviously we have got some things that are new because they need to fit very specific places and dimensions and all that kind of stuff, but for the most part everything here is either stuff that we had in our respective houses or stuff that we found on Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace, and there are so many gems on there. Honestly, just take a look, you will find amazing things. It's still cheaper to get a free sofa and have to rent a van for the day or for an hour or whatever than it is to go out and buy a first-hand new sofa. So if you can do that, and if you find something that works for you, then don't be afraid to just make it work and go and grab it, or hire a friend or hire a van. It will work somehow. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Let me know your favorite parts of the house, or if you have any questions or queries about, you know, where we got stuff or kind of design ideas or anything like that. It was helpful to have some kind of ideas before we moved into the house, but obviously things change when you move somewhere and you know what to prioritize and what would work and what wouldn't work in the place. So I would say have ideas before you want to move somewhere or you want to make any changes, but also be flexible because it just might not work out. That is it. There'll be plenty of running content coming your way, and hopefully some more showing of my home. If you have any specific questions about the plants, I know a lot of people wanted to hear about the plants. Feel like I covered them a little bit, but maybe not a lot, but write them down below and maybe I can compile like a blog post or something with all of the plant info. Hopefully you guys will find that useful. So yeah, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.